We're back with yet again another update on XRP. Let's just take a moment and talk about what's happening. First and foremost, just want to say thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you guys that has been tuning in on the Crypto ZX channel over the course of the last, month and a half to 2 months. Reason why I say that is because, in terms of retail interest, it was at pretty much rock bottom. And now, as you are starting to see market booming, altcoins booming, you're going to see everyone, and I repeat, you're going to see everyone turning into the biggest bulls like they have never left. And it's just, funny to me when you look at it from that aspect. The real winners, in my opinion, are the ones that, we're picking up the bloodbath. But, there's a lot to discuss. You're looking across the market double digits. But what's really impressive here right now is the way, these coins are up, double digits. Imagine if the dominance was not as high as 64.3%. What would have happened for altcoins? I think altcoins would have seen much bigger of a bounce. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to discuss XRP, up 7% right now on the daily time frame, with the price currently sitting at $2.22, up 7% in USD as mentioned, up 0.5% in Bitcoin comparative. Market cap at $129.6 million, and the wow, did I say 129.6 million? See, when I'm super excited, I can, get a little ahead of myself. Not 126 million. I'm sure a lot of people wish that, the valuation was 29.6 million. It's $129 billion in terms of the valuation. And of course, as far as the 24-hour trading volume goes, at about $3.7 billion. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So we know, Chairman Paul Atkins, has taken over. And, pretty much since this announcement has, gone live, a lot of people are excited, within the crypto space. Because, of course, you're starting to see these real things that, we used to talk about actually end up happening under the Trump administration. And here you have newly appointed SEC Chairman Paul Atkins says a top priority of his is to provide a firm regulatory foundation for digital assets through our rationale, coherent, and principled approach, with Donald Trump there as well, which of course tells you that, these things are, at the focal, point of importance for, Paul Atkins. And, this is someone that is pro-crypto, as we know. So, big news here, without a doubt. A lot of people will overlook this, but not on our channel. We want to be keeping an eye out on all these things and really understanding how big of a magnitude this really has, on the crypto market. It's a huge day, of course, if you're looking at this. Now, the global M2 supply, we've been discussing the M2 supply and the correlation with the crypto market. Is this really intact? Are we really going to follow? Now, look what, Raoul Powell says. Not sure, looks cute, might delete later. Maybe, just maybe, it was this easy all along. If this works, it will definitely prove that liquidity is the dominant factor still in the markets. Not tariffs, not politics, not rates, not insert your narratives. Very interesting. And as of now, BTC has been on the upside so far. As we know, the M2 money supply has been skyrocketing. You're starting to see this positive correlation really coming in, and BTC so far is doing what we were expecting. So we'll see what happens. Look at this though. Anchor claims on CNBC that Bitcoin has decoupled from Nasdaq. Let me know your personal thoughts down below regarding that. But look at this, XRP numbers of active addresses took a big jump in one day. Why do we think that's the case? A lot of excitement coming in. FOMO factor, of course, people jumping in, retail showing a lot of interest, institutional showing a lot of interest. And speaking about institutions, believe it or not, institutions are not only showing interest when you're seeing the market pumping. Institutions are buying when there is a lot of bloodbath. These guys are sophisticated investors. Obviously, OTC deals are happening, and I believe OTC is something that a lot of people completely overlook, but we don't want to be overlooking that on our channel, because that is a very important market that we kind of completely forget, because of course those numbers are always not public, but we need to understand how the whale accumulation really occurs. So in terms of an institutional standpoint, I still think accumulation is still happening, even when there was so much bloodbath. Of course I'm not saying retail don't pick up the bloodbath. but it's a very few compared to as far as bigger retail is concerned. But moving forward, look at this. Once XRP breaks the $2.20 zone, a move straight to $2.45 zone should be swift. Barely any sell walls in between the zone. I agree with that. I agree. XRP, if it's able to break out its $2.20, which we actually retested, and if you watch my update over the last few days, I was talking about this $2.20 key resistance for us to reclaim back above, and that's exactly what happened. But we'll see what happens. Let's take a look at what is going on with the price. So as far as the dominance is concerned, 64.53%, guys. 64.53% for the dominance, and I am insanely impressed the way altcoins are still performing. Of course, we're looking at Bitcoin back in the 23.6 Fibonacci retracement level at $93,000, and we could actually end up seeing a close at the 23.6 Fibonacci retracement level for BTC today. If it's able to do that, I personally project that we do see altcoins going higher. But the fact that Bitcoin did make its way back up to this range for the first time since March, tells you everything you need to know. And again, if we see the close here, I think we could start retesting some of the levels we haven't seen around that $94,000 to $95,000 Bitcoin. But what's very impressive is the fact that with this dominance and with the Bitcoin spike, you are seeing altcoins still seeing double-digit gains. Imagine if the dominance was not this high, what would have happened. But anyhow, that's not what we're here for. We're here to discuss XRP. A beautiful bounce towards the upside. $2.24 retested a few hours ago. Obviously, significant amount of resistance at that range. Did not last too long around that level. Of course, like I said, we do have some resistance around that level. If that is able to break out, I do personally believe XRP could get back into 23.6 quite fast. And I still think that, if we are able to close above this $2.20, key resistance today, I personally believe, this next target into the 23.6 at 16, it's a 16% move, obviously, at $2.56 is not an unrealistic thing to be looking out for. But what a great day. Lock those profits in when you see them, guys, especially if you have meme coins in your portfolio, because some meme coins are exploding right now. But what an amazing day. We're going to take it one step at a time. Let me know down below what you guys think. Is this indeed actually a reversal for the market? We'll see. I love you all. See you later from Crypto ZX, and peace out.